For so many of us, Saturday mornings were more than just another day. They were a sacred ritual. You'd wake up early, pour yourself a bowl of your favorite cereal, and plant yourself in front of the TV for hours of pure joy. And at the center of it all was Kids WB. But Kids WB wasn't just a collection of shows. It was an experience. It brought us laughter, adventure, and heart, turning Saturday mornings into something truly magical. Shows like Pokémon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and Animaniacs weren't just cartoons. They were part of our lives. Whether you were cheering for Ash and Pikachu in a Pokémon battle, laughing at the Warner siblings' antics, or shouting, "It's time to duel!" With your friends, those moments felt bigger than just TV. What made Kids WB so special? It wasn't just the shows. It was the way it brought us together. It was more than entertainment. It was a movement. Trading Pokémon cards at school, arguing over who was the best duelist, and sharing laughs about Pinky and the Brain with your friends. It was all part of the magic. Today, we're taking a trip down memory lane to celebrate the rise and legacy of Kids WB. We'll explore how it started, the shows that made it legendary, and the special place it holds in our hearts. And of course, we'll also take a look at its decline, the rise of the internet, shifting trends in kids' entertainment, and how Kids WB eventually came to an end. So grab a snack, settle in, and let's relive those Saturday morning dreams. Let's dive into the magic, the memories, and the legacy of Kids WB. Let's get started.
Here at WMCC, we've been trying to keep the secrets behind the new WB television network hidden from the competition. But there are some secrets you just can't keep quiet.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime town. Send me a kiss on a wire.
In 1995, Warner Brothers made a bold move to enter the competitive world of broadcast television with the launch of the WB network. At the time, the TV landscape was dominated by heavy hitters like ABC, CBS, and Fox, so the WB needed something unique to set itself apart. It focused on younger audiences with family-friendly shows like Seventh Heaven and edgy teen dramas like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, carving out a distinct niche. But Warner Brothers had something none of the other networks could replicate, a treasure trove of animated classics and beloved characters. They didn't just dip into this rich history. They built an entire programming block around it. Kids WB. Debuting in September 1995, Kids WB wasn't just another cartoon lineup. It combined the charm and humor of Warner Brothers' iconic animation legacy with bold, innovative programming that felt fresh and exciting. Classic characters like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck shared space with new stars like Yakko, Wakko, and Dot from Animaniacs, creating a bridge between generations. Unlike its competitors, Kids WB didn't feel like a collection of shows thrown together. It felt like an event. Saturday mornings became an experience, a ritual, where kids could escape into worlds of adventure, comedy, and imagination. Whether it was the clever satire of Pinky and the Brain, or the action-packed adventures of Batman, the animated series, Kids WB delivered something for everyone. From its earliest days, Kids WB set itself apart as more than just a cartoon block. It was the place for kids to be every Saturday morning. It wasn't just about watching cartoons. It was about being part of something special. And that's how Kids WB became a destination, not just for kids, but for an entire generation looking for laughter, excitement, and a bit of magic.
The mystery is over. This fall, they've come home.
It's time for Animaniacs.
That's right. The Animaniacs have left their old network behind
Arrivederci. Au revoir. Sayonara.
and have come back home to join their fellow Warner Brothers stars.
Reporting for work, sir.
It's the start of a whole new network for kids.
Kids WB. And no grown-ups allowed.
Fluffer and Succotash. Sylvester and Tweety are on the case.
In a brand new mystery series.
Earthworm Jim leaps out of his hit video game and into his own show.
Oh, groovy!
A new hero is unveiled. Steven Spielberg presents Freakazoid!
Don't forget to freak out.
And Pinky and the Brain have taken over their very own Kids WB show!
You pondering what I'm pondering?
No! So sit tight, because this morning you'll get to see not one, but two brand new episodes of the Animaniacs! Welcome to Kids WB, and all new Animaniacs is next!
A pivotal moment in Kids WB's history was the arrival of Animaniacs. Created by none other than Steven Spielberg, Animaniacs was already a runaway hit on Fox Kids. Known for its clever humor, rapid-fire jokes, and unforgettable characters, the show was a love letter to classic slapstick comedy with a modern satirical edge. Yakko, Wakko, and Dot, the mischievous Warner siblings, were at the heart of the chaos. They lived in the Warner Brothers water tower and caused mayhem wherever they went, sparring with clueless authority figures and delivering jokes that somehow managed to appeal to both kids and adults. Add in characters like the Goodfeathers, Slappy Squirrel, and the Wheel of Morality, and Animaniacs became an instant classic. But in the mid-1990s, Fox Kids began shifting its programming strategy. Action cartoons like X-Men, the animated series, and Spider-Man were becoming their new focus, leaving Animaniacs without a home. Enter Warner Brothers. Kids WB was still in its infancy, and the network needed a show to establish its identity. They seized the opportunity to bring Animaniacs back where it belonged, on a network that celebrated Warner Brothers' animation legacy. The move was a masterstroke. With Animaniacs as its flagship series, Kids WB gained instant credibility. It wasn't just another cartoon block, it was the new home for one of the smartest, funniest, and most beloved animated shows of its time. And the magic didn't stop there. Pinky and the Brain, a spin-off featuring two lab mice with world domination aspirations, followed the Warner siblings to Kids WB. Together, these shows set the tone for the block's unique brand of wit, heart, and absurdity. Animaniacs wasn't just a show, it was a defining part of Kids WB's DNA. Its blend of slapstick humor, sharp satire, and timeless charm helped shape the identity of the block and cemented its place in the hearts of viewers everywhere. For Kids WB, the arrival of the Warner siblings wasn't just a win, it was the beginning of a legacy. Let's talk about the shows that made Kids WB legendary. Let's take a closer look at the unforgettable lineup of shows that made Kids WB a cultural juggernaut. These weren't just cartoons. They were gateways into worlds of adventure, imagination, and pure joy. When Pokémon debuted on Kids WB in 1989, it didn't just arrive, it took over. Suddenly, Saturday mornings were no longer just about cartoons. They became part of a worldwide phenomenon. At its core, the adventures of Ash Ketchum and Pikachu weren't just about battling gym leaders or thwarting Team Rocket's schemes. They were about friendship, perseverance, and chasing dreams. Ash's journey to become a Pokémon master was one we all felt connected to, even when he stumbled along the way. Episodes like Bye Bye Butterfree had us tearing up as Ash said goodbye to one of his closest companions, while the intensity of his Indigo League battles had us on the edge of our seats, cheering as if we were right there in the stadium. Ash's unwavering determination made him relatable, and Pikachu's loyalty made him lovable. Together, they weren't just characters, they were heroes. Kids WB didn't stop at airing the episodes, it went all in on Pokemania. Marathons became events, with hours of Pokémon episodes leading into exciting premieres. Themed specials brought new adventures, while crossover promotions with other Kids WB shows created a sense of community among fans. Saturday mornings weren't just about watching Pokémon, they became something you planned your entire week around. And the impact didn't end with the TV screen. Suddenly, playgrounds were buzzing with talk of Charmanders, Squirtles, and the never-ending debate over which starter Pokémon was the best. Trading cards became a social currency, video games were passed around like treasure, and Pikachu plush toys were must-have items. For kids in the late 90s and early 2000s, Pokémon wasn't just a show, it was a way of life. Ash may not have won every battle, but his resilience, his bond with Pikachu, and his belief in his dreams made him an inspiration. And through it all, Pokémon became the undisputed cornerstone of kids' WB, cementing its place as one of the most influential animated series of all time. Whether you were cheering for Ash, strategizing your next card game duel, or humming the unforgettable theme song, Pokémon wasn't just a part of kids' WB, it was the heart of it. After the unstoppable force of Pokémon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Brought an entirely new kind of excitement to kids' WB. This wasn't just a show about a card game. It was an epic saga of friendship, rivalry, and battles where the stakes were nothing less than destiny itself. The characters became instant icons. Yugi Moto, with his spiky hair and Millennium Puzzle, was the heart of the series, a humble and kind hero who transformed into the confident and strategic pharaoh during a duel. Joey Wheeler, with his streetwise charm and relentless determination, was the perfect underdog who showed us that anyone could rise to the top. And then there was Seto Kaiba, ruthless, brilliant, and endlessly competitive. With his obsession for power and his signature Blue Eyes White Dragon, Kaiba wasn't just a rival, he was a force of nature. And let's talk about those monsters. Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dark Magician, Red Eyes Black Dragon, and of course,
Draw your last pathetic card so I can end this, Yugi.
My grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards, Kaiba, but it does contain the unstoppable Exodia.
The unstoppable Exodia weren't just cards, they were legends. These weren't ordinary battles. They were high-stakes showdowns filled with twists, tension, and drama. From the Duelist Kingdom to the Battle City tournament, every episode transported us to a world where cards came to life, and every move could mean victory or defeat. And who didn't feel the adrenaline rush of shouting, "It's time to duel," while slamming cards onto a table with friends? Whether it was in the classroom, on the playground, or at the local card shop, Yu-Gi-Oh! Turned every kid into a duelist. It wasn't just a game, it was a way of life. But what truly set Yu-Gi-Oh! Apart was its story. At its core, it wasn't just about winning battles. It was about the bonds of friendship, the pursuit of justice, and the courage to stand up for what's right. Whether it was Yugi risking it all to save his friends, Joey proving that heart and grit could overcome anything, or Kaiba chasing his vision of greatness, every duel carried emotional weight that kept us invested. With Yu-Gi-Oh!, Kids WB turned our imaginations into battlefields and our friendships into duels. It wasn't just a show, it was a phenomenon, a cultural moment that turned cards into magic and kids into champions. For those of us who grew up yelling, "Attack with Blue Eyes White Dragon," the legacy of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is something we'll never forget. Static Shock brought something fresh and much needed to kids WB. Virgil Hawkins wasn't your typical superhero. He was one of us, a teenager juggling the everyday challenges of high school, family, and friendship, while secretly fighting crime as the electrifying Static. What made Static Shock truly special was how grounded it felt. Virgil wasn't a billionaire with a bat cave or an alien from another planet. He was a regular kid from Dakota City, trying to figure things out like the rest of us. But when he put on his suit and powered up, he became something more, a hero we could believe in and root for. The show wasn't just about superhero battles. It was about the world we lived in. Static Shock wasn't afraid to tackle tough, real-world issues that most kids' shows shied away from. It addressed racism head-on in episodes like Sons of the Fathers, where Virgil learned his best friend, Richie's dad, harbored prejudiced views. It delved into gun violence with Jimmy. It even explored homelessness, bullying, and mental health, showing kids that the problems they faced were seen and mattered. What really made Static Shock stand out was its message. Virgil wasn't just about saving the day, he was about inspiring others to do the same. He showed us that being a hero wasn't about having superpowers, it was about standing up for what's right, helping those in need, and believing in yourself. Static Shock wasn't just a standout on Kids WB, it was a game changer for kids programming as a whole. It reminded us that cartoons could be more than just entertainment. They could be meaningful, inspiring, and unforgettable. Virgil's journey wasn't just about defeating villains. It was about showing all of us that we have the power to make a difference. Batman Beyond took us to a futuristic Gotham, where a new Batman, Terry McGinnis, stepped into the cape and cowl under the guidance of an older, grizzled Bruce Wayne. This neon-lit, high-tech city introduced us to fresh and dangerous villains like Blight, Inkay, and Shriek, while exploring deeper themes of responsibility, legacy, and identity. Unlike Bruce, Terry was a regular teenager, balancing high school and family life with the pressures of being the Dark Knight. His partnership with Bruce brought depth to the story, showing the weight of living up to a legend while forging his own path. The show's bold storytelling didn't shy away from mature themes and expanded the DC universe with crossovers like the Zeta Project. These team-ups brought Terry face-to-face with Zeta, a rogue government robot, highlighting themes of trust and morality in a world dominated by technology. With its cyberpunk aesthetic, thrilling action, and heartfelt storylines, Batman Beyond wasn't just a great kids' show. It redefined what superhero animation could be. Terry McGinnis showed us that being Batman wasn't about replacing Bruce. It was about creating your own legacy. And in doing so, he became a hero for a new generation, for something completely different, hysteria. Brought history to life with a comedic twist that was as wild as it was educational. This quirky show used wacky sketches, over-the-top characters, and catchy musical numbers to introduce kids to historical figures and events in a way that was anything but boring. Whether it was the chaos of the American Revolution, the drama of the French Renaissance, or the hilarity of ancient Rome, Hysteria found a way to make history engaging and memorable. The show's cast of zany characters, including Father Time, Misinformation, and the loud-mouthed Loud Kiddington, turned textbook moments into laugh-out-loud lessons. It was a show that didn't take itself too seriously, but still managed to sneak in facts and insights, making it perfect for kids who didn't realize they were learning. While it may not have been as popular as Pokémon or Animaniacs, Hysteria was a hidden gem in Kids WB's lineup, adding variety and a unique flavor to Saturday mornings. Who knew history could be this much fun? Let's talk about the time Toonami briefly landed on Kids WB, merging two of the most iconic brands in kids entertainment for an unforgettable experiment. In 2001, Kids WB introduced its own version of Toonami, the popular Cartoon Network action block known for its darker, more intense anime and superhero programming. This crossover aimed to bring some of Toonami's signature energy and excitement to a new audience. It was a bold move designed to inject even more action into Kids WB's lineup and capitalize on the growing popularity of anime and serialized storytelling. The Toonami on Kids WB block included shows like Dragon Ball Z, Batman Beyond, and the Powerpuff Girls. These series, though already well known on Cartoon Network, found a fresh audience on Saturday mornings with Kids WB's younger demographic. For many kids who didn't have access to cable, this was their first introduction to Toonami's brand of high-energy action and serialized drama. One of the key highlights was Dragon Ball Z, which brought its intense battles, epic story arcs, and unforgettable characters like Goku and Vegeta to the Kids WB audience. This marked one of the first times anime of this kind had such a prominent presence on broadcast television during a prime viewing slot. However, the collaboration between Toonami and Kids WB was short-lived. While it introduced many new fans to the Toonami style, the programming block didn't fully mesh with Kids WB's existing brand, which was lighter and more comedic. The block ended after about a year, leaving Toonami to continue its reign on Cartoon Network, where it thrived for years. Still, Toonami on Kids WB remains a fascinating chapter in the history of Saturday morning cartoons. It was a bold attempt to blend the fast-paced, serialized action of Toonami with the accessible, family-friendly appeal of Kids WB. While it may not have lasted, it left a lasting impression on the fans who got to experience that unique crossover of worlds. If you're enjoying this dive into Kids WB, don't forget to check out my Toonami video, where I explore the history, rise, and cultural impact of the action-packed programming block that revolutionized how we watched anime and superhero shows. From Dragon Ball Z to Gundam Wing and Sailor Moon, Toonami didn't just air shows, it created a movement. I cover everything from its iconic host, Tom, to the unforgettable promos and its legacy in shaping a generation of anime fans. You won't want to miss it, so head over to that video after this one. And if you haven't already, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the shows and moments that shaped our childhoods. Each of these shows brought something unique to Kids WB. Whether it was the epic battles of Pokémon and Yu-Gi-Oh!, the grounded heroics of Static Shock, or the magical adventures of Jackie Chan Adventures, these series didn't just entertain, they inspired. They taught us about friendship, perseverance, and standing up for what's right. They showed us worlds of imagination while connecting to the challenges we faced in our own lives. Together, these shows made Kids WB more than just a Saturday morning cartoon block. They made it a defining part of our childhoods, a place where stories came to life and dreams felt within reach. In 2006, the WB network merged with UPN to create the CW, marking the end of an era for both networks. While the WB ceased to exist as a standalone channel, Kids WB proved its resilience by making the leap to the CW's Saturday morning lineup. This transition was a testament to the cultural impact of Kids WB. Unlike many programming blocks that faded along with their parent networks, Kids WB endured, continuing to bring joy to millions of viewers. It wasn't just a collection of shows, it was an institution, a place where kids gathered every week for fun, adventure, and imagination. The move to the CW was a bold attempt to keep the magic alive, and for a while, it worked. Shows like The Batman, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Get a Clue, and The Spectacular Spider-Man were introduced, adding new energy to the block. Kids WB even continued airing staples like Pokémon and Yu-Gi-Oh!, keeping its loyal audience engaged. However, the media landscape was rapidly changing. The internet and on-demand platforms were transforming how kids consumed content. Appointment viewing, a key part of Kids WB's appeal, was losing ground to the instant gratification of online streaming and DVD box sets. By 2008, the decision was made to end Kids WB and replace it with 4Kids TV. While 4Kids TV brought a new slate of shows, it lacked the heart and cultural resonance that had made Kids WB so beloved. For many fans, the end of Kids WB wasn't just the end of a programming block, it was the end of a cherished childhood tradition. Still, the fact that Kids WB managed to outlive its original network is a testament to its strength as a brand and its lasting impact. It wasn't just another Saturday morning cartoon block, it was a cultural phenomenon that transcended its time and left an indelible mark on a generation of viewers. The early 2000s brought a seismic shift in how we consumed media, and for Kids WB, this marked the beginning of the end. The rise of the internet and streaming platforms like YouTube changed everything. Suddenly, kids didn't have to wait for Saturday mornings to watch their favorite shows. They could access them anytime they wanted, often with just a click. Streaming wasn't the only disruptor. DVD box sets became a game changer, giving kids the ability to binge-watch full seasons of shows like Pokémon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Without relying on a TV schedule. This instant accessibility undermined the magic of Kids WB, which had thrived on appointment viewing and the anticipation of waiting all week for Saturday morning. On top of that, the explosion of 24/7 cable networks like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon provided endless entertainment options. Kids no longer needed to tune into one specific block. They could find cartoons and shows anytime, any day. But the challenges didn't stop there. Shifting parenting styles and stricter FCC regulations in the early 2000s also dealt a blow to traditional kids' programming. As parents demanded more educational content, the freewheeling, action-packed style that defined Kids WB was increasingly seen as outdated. The fall of Kids WB wasn't just about the end of a TV block, it symbolized the end of a shared cultural tradition. For many of us, it marked the close of a simpler, more magical time when Saturday mornings belonged to us. But while Kids WB may have faded from our screens, its legacy endures. The shows, the memories, and the magic it created remain timeless, reminding us of a time when cartoons were more than just entertainment. They were a part of who we were. In 2008, Kids WB, the beloved Saturday morning cartoon block that had defined an era, came to an end. Its final episodes aired, and the block was replaced by 4Kids TV, a new programming slate that promised fresh content but ultimately failed to capture the magic of its predecessor. The transition marked more than just a programming change. It symbolized the end of an era. For over a decade, Kids WB had been a cornerstone of childhood for millions of viewers. It wasn't just a place to watch cartoons. It was a cultural phenomenon that brought kids together every Saturday morning, creating memories that lasted a lifetime. But by 2008, the world of entertainment had changed. Cable networks like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon were dominating children's programming with 24/7 access to cartoons. These channels offered constant, on-demand content, making the concept of waiting for Saturday mornings feel outdated. And then there was the internet. Platforms like YouTube and emerging streaming services were revolutionizing how people consumed media. Kids could now watch their favorite shows whenever they wanted, without the constraints of a TV schedule. The magic of appointment viewing, the excitement of waking up early on a Saturday to catch Pokémon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Was fading fast. For many fans, the end of Kids WB was more than just the cancellation of a block. It was the loss of a tradition. It was the end of a shared experience that brought families together in front of the TV and turned Saturday mornings into something special. While 4Kids TV attempted to fill the void, it never managed to capture the same spirit. The shows lacked the timeless charm and emotional connection that had made Kids WB legendary. Looking back, 2008 wasn't just the end of Kids WB. It was the end of the golden age of Saturday morning cartoons. For millions of kids, it marked the closing chapter of a simpler, more magical time in their lives. But even though Kids WB is gone, its legacy continues to live on in the memories it created and the countless lives it touched. The impact of Kids WB is undeniable. More importantly, it created a sense of community. Kids WB wasn't just about the shows, it was about the experience. It was waking up early, grabbing a bowl of cereal, and sharing the excitement with friends and family. It was a tradition, a ritual that connected us all in a way that feels rare in today's on-demand world. Though the era of Saturday morning cartoons has passed, the spirit of Kids WB lives on. It's in every show that dares to push boundaries, every story that captures our imaginations, and every memory that brings a smile to our faces. For many of us, Kids WB wasn't just a block of programming, it was a piece of who we are, and that's a legacy that will never fade. Oh, what are your favorite Kids WB moments? Was it the emotional goodbye in Bye Bye Butterfree, the suspense of Yugi summoning Exodia, or maybe the electrifying action of Static Shock? Whatever it is, share your memories in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation alive. And don't forget, this journey doesn't stop here. Tune in next time, where I'll dive into the worlds of Fox Kids, The Hub, 4Kids Entertainment, and so much more. We'll uncover the stories behind the blocks that shaped a generation. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep chasing those Saturday morning dreams.